Hello, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario. Coach Mario, owner and head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy here in Miami, Florida. How are you guys doing this morning? It's a Monday morning, starting of a new week. Guys, I've been away from my home from Miami for the last week or so. Took my well-deserved vacation with my wife to Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. Going to the beach every day, enjoying life, giving thanks to God for allowing me the blessings of enjoying another day in this life, in this world. I'm really grateful for all His blessings, guys, and I had a great, wonderful time with my wife. We went to shows. We danced, we went to fine restaurants and really enjoyed ourselves, getting away from work and just relaxing. So I'm back now, but I wanted to talk today about something that has been bothering me a lot. And even if I've been away for over a week from work, and I gotta thank my assistant coach Coach Paul, for taking over the helm of my boxing school here in Miami. But I've been looking at some content on YouTube and the news. Obviously, following, not interested in the so-called news that you see either in Fox or CNN or some of these other channels, which is all propaganda, in my opinion. Just trying to divide the people even more, consistently dividing people against each other just based on a few powerful men that are actually doing whatever the hell they want. But and that's the reason why I never touch politics, and I don't like to talk about it, and I don't even give a crap who's there or who's not, because they're all, in my opinion, they're all corrupt. In my opinion, all of them. But that's the reason why I don't watch news. But going back to news about boxing and events and shows and content creators that talk about boxing and some of the fights and some of the commentators and everything else, I have not seen one of the top content creators, one of the top commentators in fights, talking about specifically the welterweight division, to actually, or any other division, and talk about boxing in general, about upcoming fights, and promoters talking about their upcoming fights, and channels like The Zone talking about their upcoming fights, mentioning Matias and his upcoming fight with Paro. Not one mention. Not one mention. The Zone showed the fights this past Saturday. They show some other fights during the week. Some more promotions and news conferences and everything else. Not one mention. They mention upcoming fights, but they skip over Matias and his upcoming fight with Paro. And that just makes me think, what the hell is wrong with these people? Why would anybody who is a promoter, who signed an and coming superstar like Matias, for those of us who know what type of fighter Matias is, the kind of entertainer, fighter, and I'm talking about people from all over the world, guys. A lot of people say, well, some people, not a lot, but some people say, oh, well, that's because you like Puerto Rican fighters. That's because you're Puerto Rican. That's because, no, I'm not Puerto Rican, guys. I've said it before. I was not born in Puerto Rico. I was raised there, but I wasn't born there. I'm Cuban. I was born in Cuba. My father was Mexican and my mother was Cuban. I was raised in a Cuban home with Cuban culture and background and the food and the music. But I was also influenced by my surrounding, which was Puerto Rico. I love the island. I married a Puerto Rican woman and my kids are Puerto Rican. My grandkids are Puerto Rican. All right? But my point is, it's not based on my love for the island. What I'm saying is based on my experience in the sport of boxing. I can tell who's going to be a good fighter and who's not going to be a good fighter. I can tell somebody that's going to be great, somebody's going to be mediocre, because I've been watching this game since I was a baby almost, with my family who all loved boxing. My father, my grandfather, my uncles. So when I see a fighter like Suriel Matias, and I recognized him immediately when I first saw him fight years ago, and I've been talking about him for years, and I'm excited to watch him fight, and everybody else ignores him. And I'm talking about the Paulie Malignaggi's, the Chris Algieri's. They don't talk about him at all, about the upcoming fight. It is like some kind of prejudice, some kind of envy, or I don't know what I can call it, guys. How can you ignore, how can you completely talk about, I know Tank is fighting Frank Martin. They talk about that. They talk about that card where Benavidez is going to be fighting, where Tank Davis is going to be fighting. But the same night in Puerto Rico, in Manati, Puerto Rico, Suriel Matias is going to defend his title against a very worthy opponent in the Paro. Nobody has said shit about it. And you know what pisses me off? There's no promotion. There's no advertising on TV. There's nothing talking about Suriel Matias coming from Matchroom or The Zone, so that people can tune in and watch this great fighter that we have in Puerto Rico. This great fighter that's admired, this great fighter that's gone through hell and back, who has a very interesting story. And if you want to talk about it on the marketing side, this guy's got a story that beats everybody else. Been shot, didn't die, recovered, went to jail, came back. All the things that's happened to this guy, killed a guy in the ring. Come on, guys. This guy's a movie. And yet nobody acknowledges him. And these are the things that really upset me. And the only thing I can think about is it's got to be some kind of prejudice against Puerto Rican fighters. What is it that nobody acknowledges this guy? And could it be that they have that same mentality as Teofimo Lopez, who thinks Puerto Rican fighters are easy? It is unbelievable that Eddie Hearn doesn't care about a guy he signed who actually has a following all over the world. It doesn't make sense. When they say they're talking about, hey, Jack Catterall won, like I called it, didn't I call it? Said Jack Catterall was going to win. They're talking about, next he could fight Pitbull. They don't mention Matias. Pitbull Cruz, who beat a nobody, a tomato can. Pitbull Cruz, who didn't deserve that shot. Pitbull Cruz, who, had never fought at 140, was already ranked and fought for a title. Skipping over Ismael Barroso. That Pitbull Cruz, who's being set up to be the next face of Mexican boxing. Who is, in my opinion, a very limited fighter, a one-dimensional fighter. If you want to talk about one-dimensional, Pitbull Cruz is one-dimensional. And he's easy to beat once he faces the right opponent. think Matias would take him out in 5 rounds. I think, there's crafty boxers, technical boxers he doesn't stand a chance against. All right? But I tell you, the real reason why all of this is happening is gotta be some kind of prejudice. What is it? Why don't they talk about Matias? Is it prejudice or is it fear? Why would Eddie Hearn be fearful of Subriel Matias? That's his guy. He signed him up. Yet he's not promoting that fight at all. The only people that know about Subriel Matias fighting in Puerto Rico are the hardcore fans all over the world. Hardcore fans of Subriel Matias. And you got Subriel Matias who's got fans in Europe, in Asia, all over the world. Real knowledgeable boxing fans, not fanatics. All right? Not the Teofimo fanatics, not Haney fanatics, none of that shit. I mean, real knowledgeable boxing fans who actually like a fighter, not because where he's from, but because of the way he carries himself, the way he fights inside the ring, the way he has a no-quit attitude, the way he displays his warrior spirit inside the ring. This guy does not play, guys. This guy is the real deal. And when I see somebody like that who could be a potential superstar, you just brushed to the side by everybody, not given the time of day. And I bet you once he beats Paro, you're not going to hear about it too much. And the top guys are going to continue, avoiding him. And that's a real shame. That is a real shame. It's shameful by Eddie Hearn. It's shameful by Matchroom Boxing. It's shameful of all those so-called experts, former champions, boxers, especially those guys who know how hard it is to get to the top. The way Subriel Matias has done it, not the way Pitbull Cruz did it, not the way Rolly Romero did it, not the way Ryan Garcia did it, none of these other fake-ass champions did it, but the real way. Beating everybody in your path, beating undefeated fighters. And to all of those who say he's beaten nobody, you guys are ignorant. Learn boxing. He's beat all the tough opponents, just like Murray Hagler did on his way up. So I'm going to tell you something, guys. I'm really disappointed on what's going on. I'm really pissed off about this whole situation. But it is what it is. They'd rather give a clown like Teofimo Lopez the time of day. They'd rather give a clown like Rolly Romero the time of day and talk about him all the time. But not a real fighter, man. Not a real fighter like Subriel Matias. And I'm just going to continue talking about Subriel Matias on this channel. I appreciate those who do. Those who are not biased. Those who are actually putting out the word to the rest of the world. And we should ignore those so-called experts. I really like some promotions, that have been homemade by some of these YouTube creators. I've seen some really good ones out there lately, and I saw my shout out to Tough Glove. Beautiful, man, beautiful work with that last promo on Subriel Matias, his history, his life, his achievements, his ups and downs. Man, that was really nice. And you should all check out that channel, Tough Glove, man. I really like this guy. He is unbiased. And there's a lot of people like that out there. There's a lot of people that actually know when something is good and when something is not that good. All right, when a fighter is somebody that needs to be talked about, like Subriel Matias. But anyway, guys, this is just my 2 cents. Coming back from vacation, this is what I think has been going on. 2 weeks out. 2 weeks out for Subriel Matias to face Paro. who a lot of people see as a real threat. A lot of people, and I'm talking about just the people that talk about Suriel Matias and the upcoming fight, you know, they say Liam Paro is going to give him a run for his money. And like I said before, I don't see this fight going past the 7th round. I see Suriel Matias stopping this guy and making him say, no más Diaz. All right? And you can see some of my previous episodes and how I describe how Matias is going to take him apart. All right? The breakdown, the analysis, and everything everything like that, I already did it. And I might go over it a little bit more before the fight, maybe 1 week before. But this is all for now. Coach Mario, owner and head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy, saying hasta la vista. God bless you all. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and peace.